Hi everyone, this is Martin, and I am back at the video editing desk today doing the episode 2 of the studio sessions where we're not out in the field, we're not out doing the cool stuff, we're not in the woods, we're not in the tool shop or anything like that. We're sitting at the desk going over some of the nuts and bolts of what it takes to get a adventure going and keep it sustained financially. And last I realized after I did my first video, I looked at it afterwards and realized how tired I looked in that video. And I'm big on quotes, and I had another quote for that. And I heard this years ago from a good friend, Tony Miller. And Tony said it's better to wear out than it is to rust out. And, I figured that at the pace I'm going, I will definitely wear out before I rust out. And so, yeah, I apologize for looking pretty tired in that first video. And maybe that's just a natural thing. When you're busy doing this stuff all the time, you're just sort of perpetually tired all the time. Anyway, again, this is the sessions where we're going to go over the kind of the details about getting things started, getting things going, getting things financed, making sure that it's making money along the way so you can keep doing what you love doing. And I put out the last video. I don't plan on doing these things every day. It'll probably be about once a week. But to get a few of them out so that you have some material to work with, I will do them a little more frequently to start with. And right away, I got a couple of good questions on that first video. And several actually, but there's two of them that pop up over and over again. I alluded to this in the first video. It's like inevitably you get these questions, and the two questions that I pulled out first one was how do you financially get it started, and then the second one is how do you financially sustain it. And it's funny because those are the two main questions that you get, or that I see, when we're going through those Facebook groups, like the homesteading ones or the do-it-yourselfers or the off-grid or any of that kind of stuff. Those are the ones that you end up seeing all the time after time after time. And it's not unusual that those would have been the questions that showed up right away. And the first one was from Colin, who, if you looked at our first resort adventure video, there was a family in there that stayed. They were the first guest that stayed at our very first cabin. And Colin was one of the kids in that video. He was probably, oh gosh, I don't know, maybe 6 or 7, maybe 8 years old, something like that. And he's an adult now, and he popped in and was interested in this, and he has kept that relationship going, like I discussed on that one video. And his was the first question: how do you get started with something like that? And whether it's getting started or whether it is keeping going or sustaining it, and I don't mean to downplay that question, because that is the question, those are the questions that are forefront in everybody's mind, it seems like. But there's one question that needs to be asked, I think, before that's possibly the most important question that you need to ask yourself before you ask how do you make it happen or how do you keep it going. And that question is why. And the reason I say that is that, I learned this at one point early in our business life. And that is, if you have a strong enough why you're doing something, you'll find ways how. There's just nothing can really stop you. If your why is strong enough, nothing can stop you from learning how or doing that. And so it's more important, I think, before you start asking yourself, how do you make this happen? How do you get this started? How do you keep it going? It's more important to ask yourself, why are you doing that? Because if that why isn't deep enough and strong enough in you, it really doesn't matter how you're going to do it. It's really not going to happen. You'll give up when you first hit the first brick wall, or you'll give up when you run into the first obstacle. You'll give up when the first bank tells you no. It's just you won't have what it takes to sustain the energy through the process if you don't have a strong enough why are you doing this in the first place. And we had a why that was strong enough to get us through those first few hurdles. And that, for us, that why was we wanted to have the reason we were doing this was because we wanted to create something that our kids could enjoy and have a family retreat. I mean, you'll hear me talk about that. That was the reason why we started this whole thing in the first place, was we wanted to have a place to draw the family back together and spend time together. Now, that didn't turn out the way we envisioned it, but that was a strong enough why to get us through the first bunch of hurdles. And so the thing that I really need to have you understand is the how is important, but more important than that is, why are you doing it in the first place? What I would really like for you to do is, when you, as you're watching this, go down to the comments and give me your why. Why are you doing what you want to do? Whether it's, start a homestead thing, or start a resort, start a lake cabin, start whatever it is you want to do. And this is all surrounding, I guess, the recreational property adventure kind of lifestyle. Why do you want to do that? If you don't have a good enough why, it really isn't going to matter. You probably need to just get a job and go on vacations as often as you can. But if you really want to make it part of your lifestyle, then you need to decide why you want to do that. And trust me, there's plenty of reasons why. The lifestyle is great, and if you can do it as part of your daily routine or daily activity or your life, then to me that's a good enough why. But it's got to be a strong one. It's got to be something that you're willing to plow through obstacles on before you really achieve your first goal. And if you have that, then nothing can really stop you if you have it bad enough. If you've got something that's going to drive you enough to where the first bank says no and you don't fall apart and run back home again, then you're going to have something that's going to sustain you through those tough times and through those startup times that they're not easy. When we bought the treehouse property, I mean, that was well in excess of $1 million, a lot in excess of $1 million. And we approached 9 banks, and 7 of the 9 turned us down. And 2 of them approved it, and then we went with the better option that we believed. But hey, if we had fallen apart and after the 7th no said, okay, we're done with this, it's too much trouble, then we wouldn't have hit that 8th and that 9th bank that both ended up saying yes. And even the yes with them required us to do an awful lot to get approved. And so it wasn't just an automatic, oh yeah, we'll finance you, it's no big deal. It was, we'll finance you, but you need to give us a business plan that we can take to the board of directors. And our business plan was close to 3/8 to a half an inch thick, a fine print. Okay, so it was not easy, but it was worth it. And if that why we were doing that was not strong enough in us, we'd have gave up way before we were able to successfully get that project started. And so that's the very first thing that I really need to get you to do is, why are you doing this? Why do you want this so bad in your life? Is it a homestead? Why do you want to get out on the homestead? Is it living off grid and all of the things that goes with that? Why do you want to do that? Is it starting a resort project? Why do you want to do that? Or a campground or whatever? Why do you want to do that? Why is it so important to you that you're willing to set a course and set goals and sacrifice things in your life, other things in your life, to achieve that? If you don't have that, you're not going to make it. If you do have that, nothing can really stop you. So I'm asking you right now, go to the comments down below. Show me your why. I would like to see it. I mean, just for my personal curiosity, I would like to see why you want to do what you want to do in the way of an adventure lifestyle. And, go ahead and continue asking the questions. I'm not going to dodge the questions. We will get into the how. There's no question about that. So, but do that for me. Just give me a little bit of feedback on why you want to do what you want to do. And if you have not done it yet, go to the bottom of the video here, click the subscribe button, click the notification bell, give me some comments. If you think that you're starting to get some value or finding some value in this, please, click the like button, or the thumbs up button. And, help us continue to move on with this. I really, a lot of how I'm going to structure these is going to be based on the comments and the questions that I get in the comment section below the video. So go ahead and do that for me. And we're going to wrap this one up. This is episode 2. I'll probably do another episode 3 and put that up a day later or something like that, just to get some material out there so you don't feel like we're just sort of waiting and waiting and waiting. And we will do that. So click the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, and we'll see you next time.